This unfolding political tension, the tone shifts sharply as the focus turns to what's really at stake behind the delay in Lt-Gen Mkhwanazi's contract renewal. The concern expressed by the KZN Premier isn't just routine administrative worry. It signals deeper uncertainty within the province's security leadership. There's a growing sense that something critical is being left unresolved, and that silence is beginning to speak louder than any official statement. Viewers who stay until the end will uncover the subtle power dynamics and hidden pressures shaping this moment. So subscribe and keep watching, because the real story is only just beginning to reveal itself. The first layer of this situation reveals a province on edge, where leadership continuity is more than symbolic. It directly impacts stability. Lt-Gen Mkhwanazi has long been seen as a firm hand in KwaZulu-Natal's policing structure, and any delay tied to his position introduces questions that ripple across law enforcement ranks. Officers begin to wonder about direction, strategy, and authority. Uncertainty at the top doesn't stay at the top. It spreads quietly but quickly. Then comes the second layer, where political undertones begin to surface. A delayed contract renewal is rarely just about paperwork. It often reflects negotiations, disagreements, or even silent resistance within corridors of power. The Premier's concern hints that this may not be a simple administrative backlog. Instead, it suggests friction, possibly between provincial expectations and national decision-making structures. That tension can reshape outcomes in ways the public doesn't immediately see. Moving deeper, attention shifts to timing. Why now? The delay arrives at a moment when KwaZulu-Natal continues to navigate complex security challenges. Leadership stability becomes crucial during such periods, making any hesitation appear amplified. Even a short delay can carry long shadows. Timing in politics is never accidental. Another dimension begins to emerge when considering public perception. Communities often read these developments as signals of instability, regardless of the official explanation. Trust is delicate. When leadership appears uncertain, public confidence can quietly erode. And once that erosion begins, rebuilding it becomes far more difficult than maintaining it. There's also the institutional impact to consider. Police structures rely heavily on clarity and command. When leadership positions hang in uncertainty, internal cohesion can weaken. Decisions may slow, initiative may drop, momentum can stall. A delay, even without visible conflict, can subtly disrupt the rhythm of enforcement on the ground. Now the spotlight turns toward the Premier's voice itself. Publicly expressing concern is not a neutral act, it's a deliberate signal. It places pressure on the process while also communicating accountability to the public. But it also raises a question: what prompted the need to speak out? Silence might have been easier. Choosing not to remain silent suggests urgency beneath the surface. At this stage, the narrative widens to include broader governance dynamics. Provincial and national relationships are often layered with negotiation and influence. Decisions about key figures like Lt-Gen Mkhwanazi don't exist in isolation. They are shaped by priorities, alignments, and sometimes competing interests. To fully understand this delay, one must look beyond the surface and consider the machinery behind the scenes. Stay with this until the end and subscribe, because what unfolds next reveals how these invisible forces often determine visible outcomes. The next shift comes with examining precedent. Has this happened before? In many systems, delays in high-level appointments or renewals often precede significant changes, either in leadership direction or policy approach. Patterns matter. They offer clues without needing explicit confirmation. Observers who recognize these patterns begin to see this moment not as isolated, but as part of a broader narrative. Attention then moves to the human element. Behind titles and positions are individuals navigating pressure, expectation, and scrutiny. Lt-Gen Mkhwanazi's situation is not just institutional, it is personal. Careers, reputations, and legacies are shaped in moments like this. Decisions made now will echo far beyond the present delay. Another angle emerges when considering strategic priorities. Law enforcement leadership often aligns with broader security strategies. A delay might indicate reassessment, perhaps a shift in focus, approach, or long-term planning. When leadership decisions pause, strategy often follows. And when strategy pauses, outcomes begin to shift. Then comes the question of communication. The absence of clear explanations fuels speculation. In environments where information is limited, narratives fill the gaps. Different interpretations begin to compete, each shaping public understanding in its own way. Information gaps rarely stay empty for long. Now the pace changes as attention turns to potential consequences. If the delay extends, the implications deepen. Temporary uncertainty can evolve into structural instability. The longer the silence, the louder the questions become, and unanswered questions have a way of multiplying. The story then pivots toward accountability. Who ultimately holds responsibility for this delay? Identifying where decisions rest becomes crucial in understanding how and when resolution might come. Accountability defines direction. Without it, processes drift. From here, the narrative builds toward anticipation. What happens next carries weight. Will the contract be renewed quietly, resolving concerns instantly? Or will the delay stretch further, signaling deeper shifts? Moments like this often serve as turning points, even if they don't appear dramatic at first glance. As everything begins to converge, the focus returns to the Premier's initial concern. It now feels less like a simple statement and more like a warning signal, subtle but significant. Sometimes the earliest signs of change are the quietest. The unfolding situation leaves one central idea lingering. Leadership clarity is not optional, it's essential. When it wavers, everything connected to it begins to feel the strain. And in a province as dynamic as KwaZulu-Natal, even small uncertainties can carry wide-reaching effects. In the final stretch, all threads tie together into a broader reflection on governance, leadership, and timing. Decisions delayed are rarely decisions avoided. They are decisions in motion, just out of sight. What appears as silence is often active negotiation behind closed doors. And as this moment continues to develop, one thing becomes clear. The outcome will define more than just one contract. It will shape perception, influence direction, and potentially alter the balance within the province's leadership structure. Subscribe and stay until the very end, because the next development in this story could change everything in an instant.